Hello, everyone. Well, what I have here are something that I recently discovered that a lot of people knew about, as with many things, and I only recently discovered, and that is budget knives that are they're kind of like clones. They're not exactly like, for example, this one's kind of like a clone of a Delica, which I have here. Um, This Delica here runs about $110, maybe a little bit more in ZDP 189. So it's got really good steel on it. I really love that knife. This knife right here is the Ganzo FireBird, which they kind of getting away, I guess, from. Well, it still says Ganzo on it. It's only like $10. So they're like 10 times cheaper. That's just something on the end of the blade. I don't think I've been using it for everything. I think that's just tape. But it's 440C steel. And that steel is pretty sharp. Now this one hasn't broken in as much. You can see I push on that and the blade stays that way. Whereas on the Delica, I've had this one a little bit longer, not a whole lot longer. And of course this is a better assembled knife, I guess I would put it, a little higher quality materials. But there's nothing wrong with this one. I'm telling you, man. I mean, it's perfect. It's, if I was worried about losing this one, and you're talking about losing knives. Well, today at work, I was driving a forklift, and I carry 3 knives on me. This Delica, the Delica in my right-hand pocket. I usually have this one in the left-hand pocket. I've got cargo pockets. And I was carrying the Endura in ZDP 189 in my back pocket. And when I got out off the forklift to check the fuel, like it had gone off, stop, I heard a clink, clink, and this thing had fallen down. I'd snagged off the seatbelt or something and fallen down, and I almost lost it. Well, it's like $110, $120 knife. If I would have had, like lost this guy, or I think they've got something that's an Endura equivalent also. But they're pretty good knives. Now this one here is like the Paramilitary 2 equivalent. It has the axis lock or compression lock. This one's pretty strong spring here. Now there's a spring that's mounted in here, and it's pushing back this way on this lock. So you can see the lock right there. When it goes back in this track, it allows this lock, to come back and lock. Now on the Benchmade that Mike sent me, this 583, the one I cleaned up, it's comes open as soon as you pull this, and this is really easy to pull. I mean, so that's kind of like the difference between, that you're getting in price. But again, this one was only like about around $20, and a PM2, a Spyderco PM2 or something, is going to run you $130, $140 at least. And I like this carbon fiber laminate. I like the way it looks. It's smooth as far as like a texture. If you want something that's a little bit more functional, you probably would go with one of the G10 versions like this one. Now this one here, the liner lock, the axis lock is the spring is not it doesn't like do it like an assisted opening type of thing, but it's really like fall shutty type of you just pull back on it and it comes back. Now that's why I got my fingers out of the way, because you see those cuts right there? That's fingers in the blade path. I sat here and did this, and just the weight of this coming back down was enough to cut down. So cutting test, it'll cut flesh from the factory, so it's sharp enough. You can flip it like that, to get it to open, or you can use the thumb stud. The problem I have with thumb studs on some of them is it's fine if you get it all the way, but if you don't flip it all the way, you're going to wind up cutting the bottom of your thumb or file it. See how it didn't quite go all the way? And your thumb is going to fall down there. It's not going to, like I don't have slices on my thumb and stuff yet, but just something you got to watch out for. This blade's heavy enough, like I said, that just with gravity coming down and your fingers in the way, you're going to get cut. But again, this one's, I don't know if it's trying to copy the bug out or whatever, but it's not going to beat it as far as like weight, because this one weighs 4 ounces. But, and a bug out I think only weighs like 1 point something. But anyways, I just wanted to say these, if you, now, if your laws and your countries and everything are restricting, you can't have locking knives, or it can't be one-handed knives and stuff like that. But for anywhere else, if you don't have a very big budget, I was able to add these guys, these 3 knives. I can try those different ones if I really like them. See, I can afford to get a Spyderco every once in a while. I can save up and say, you know what, maybe the PM2 is worth it, Now, of course, it's going to have a compression lock instead of this axis lock, but still, I think they're worthwhile, to look at them while the price is still low, because I don't want to get into politics or anything, but our country is slapping import taxes on damn near everything made in China, and since most everything we do nowadays, or have nowadays, or use, is made in China, that's going to be a very interesting tax that we get hit with. So the price might go up on these things from $20 to maybe $30, or $10 to $20, and you'll be getting the exact same thing. You'll just be paying more for it. So keep that in mind if you like budget knives and you're on a budget. If you want a good beater or a working knife that you want to test out a design of something, like the PM2, is it really worth it? Do you like that blade shape? Do you like the, it'll copy a lot of that stuff. It won't get it exactly right, like the real one, but and they have some of their own designs also. The FireBird, they make some of their own in-house designs, not necessarily just copying things. And some would say they're not, completely copying, because they put their brand on it. They're not trying to say, it doesn't say like this is supposed to be a Delica, but or a Delica copy. So it's not exact, because the Delica is actually slightly longer in the handle. And this one technically doesn't have a round hole, it has an oval. But everything else is pretty damn close. I think this one also has, yes, it has some jimping up there for the forward choil, which this one lacks, the original Delica. So, in some ways they can improve upon a design. But anyways, I just wanted you to know that they are sharp enough. You don't have to be a knife snob or anything like that. And don't forget that steel is steel. All of them are gonna have to be sharpened. But out of the factory, this particular model right here. Let me see if I just got the model number for you. The FB760 is sharp enough to cut your finger right out of the factory. I don't know how much sharper you want it. So, thank you for watching, and watch out. Don't cut yourself.